Welcome back to Nebula Tech News. This is the Galaxy Watch 4, and today's video is the battery life test. Now, if you guys will remember from the unveiling or the Samsung Unpacked event, they mentioned that this watch would have about 40 hours of battery life, and we're going to put that to the test in this video. And before we get into this battery life test, let's go over a couple of specs for this specific watch so that you know which one this is, and also the settings that we used it in during the test. So for starters, this is the 40mm Bluetooth Wi-Fi GPS version, so it's not an LTE, and it's not the 44mm, which is the higher end one. This one comes in at $250 US, thereabouts pre-tax. And like I said, it has a 247 milliamp hour battery. A few of the settings that we had, so brightness was at about a half level, heart rate monitoring was set to every 10 minutes or so, GPS was left on, stress monitoring and everything else was left at manual. I tried to use this just in the way that I feel most normal people would use it. The only difference from what a lot of people probably would use is that I don't have always on display turned on. That's just my personal preference. I'm not really a big fan of always on display. For the purpose of a battery life test also, I don't think that it really makes any sense doing it, because we all know that if you have always on display turned on with all of the other sensors in this watch, you're not going to get probably even a day. I wouldn't bet that you'd get even a day's worth of battery life with always on display and everything else on. Aside from that, I did have all of the other sensors turned on. Heart rate monitoring was set to every 10 minutes, I believe. Sleep tracking was on for the nights that I wore it to bed. It was obviously tracking my activity and my calorie count, my steps, things like that. I was also getting notifications, so I did have my notifications turned on for everything that I use on my phone, so email, text messages, calls. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, we are fully charged. 100% fully charged. It is 11:05 a.m. and we're starting our battery life test now, so I will check back in a few hours. All right, so it's been a few hours. It is 2:31 p.m. 2:32, 89%. Been a little bit of activity. Still have a bit more to go, but doing pretty good so far. All right, 6:30 p.m. We are at 76%, and you see there's been a bit of activity, so about 5,000 steps. We're still not done, but 76% for the day. All right, it is 9:17 p.m. We are at 68%. I am wearing it to sleep so that it can track my sleep as well. We did a little over 5,000 steps today. So we'll let this sleep track, and then I'll check in tomorrow morning and see where we're at, ending the night at 68%. Quick morning check. It is 8:32 a.m. following day, Tuesday. We slept with this on. It was pretty comfortable for the most part, and we are at 40% battery. All right, quick check-in. It is 1:11. We are at 25% battery life. I do have a few things that I have to do, so we'll see how far that 25% takes us. All right, so it's saying here that I've got 22% battery, which will take me for another 9 hours and 35 minutes. So that should last me another 9 hours and 35 minutes is what the app is saying. I don't think that that's true, but I am going to keep an eye on it and we'll check it out later. We got the dreaded battery low. It's about 4:36 right now, so I'm not going to turn it on. I'm just going to write it out and see how much longer we get. And it looks like we're at 15%. So that's when I get the battery low is 15%. I haven't even been all that active today. Just really been working for the most part, but 15%, 4:37. Let's see. All right, so it's about 10:24 p.m. or so, and I just got the buzz on the watch indicator that it was shutting off because it's dead. So I took it off, and as you'll see, 0%, fully dead. So now let's look at some of our totals. All right, now that that's over, let's recap. So if you watched the video, then you know that we started this at 11:05 a.m. and our battery died at 10:24 p.m. So this started on Monday and it died on Tuesday. I do have a screenshot that I'll put up in a second that shows right before it died, about an hour before it died at 10:24. that we had used 1 day and 10 hours or so, which, you know, that's 24 plus 10 is 34. And then an extra hour after it died at 10:24 p.m. would leave us at about 35 hours total. So it's not exactly the 40 hours that were promised by Samsung, but it was pretty darn close actually. Although I would say if you're someone who's expecting to use this regularly and you're pretty active, because one of the days I wasn't super duper active, but if you're more active than I am, or if you're planning on using this and you get a lot of notifications, you want to have constant heart rate monitoring turned on, you know, the works, or always on display, you should expect to charge this every single day. I don't think that you would get much better usage than this number. I don't know that anybody has gotten 40. I don't know that you would realistically, but on average usage, for me personally, I got 35 hours, which is pretty darn close to 40, so it's not the worst. So that is it for this video, guys, our battery life test on the Galaxy Watch 4. Results were kind of impressive because I've heard pretty bad things about this battery life from other people. I was impressed to see that it was at least close to the 40 hours that they promised. I will be doing a battery life test on the Watch 4 Classic. That's coming up next, so make sure that you're subscribed and have the bell notification turned on if you want to check that one out. And if you guys liked the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys a ton for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.